catchy. All right, here we are with Beau, lesson number 1. We played the Tuesday game the other day, and my first impression was we've got a big tall guy that's swinging like a short guy. So we've got a swing that looks like this. Over time, we're going to build structure to where we're like this. Our torso's turned, so our back's to the target. Get our hand nice and high so we can use your frame to your advantage. So let's get some kind of baseline swings here on camera, and then we're going to build from there. Do you have any things that you think about currently while swinging?
No, I'm always like, you know, I want to keep my arm. I remember I used to swing left-handed.
Okay.
Until a year ago.
Cool.
And I went to Top Golf and I couldn't hit a ball straight left-handed. I started swinging right-handed and I could make them go straight. So that's why.
That's impressive.
That's why I.
Did you play other sports ambidextrous?
No. No.
And what's your current low score ever?
94.
Okay, you've broken 100. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people never do that.
With old Paul Coffin.
Good vibes with Paul. Got a DM from him today. He said he's in for the Leisure Championship at PD.
I sent it over to him, and then like you posted about it and tagged him because Tyler had that hat on. Yeah, so it's great. I told him that we were heading out there.
Okay, the other thing that we're going to work on long term is keeping the hands sort of on this carousel ride a little longer.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on the grip, but then, so generally we're going to get away from this into something like that.
Right.
And then there's, looking from this angle here, future Beau, there's an arc here, and then your hands kind of detach from that arc a little bit too early.
Okay.
So over time, we're just going to kind of ride the carousel a little bit more gradually and then hinge. But that's sort of long-term stuff. Let's talk about the grip first.
Yeah.
That's like the foundation of a house. Do you have Sharpie in your bag?
No.
Okay, no big deal. Let me see if I've got a pen or something in my bag. Stand by. Keep warming up. Let me borrow your glove. So a great instructor in Texarkana gave me this life-changing grip lesson. All right, so you want the club to run through this channel where it rests on this fatty pad down here. Right here is mounted on top of the club. So we're able to balance it with just these bottom couple of fingers. So we're gonna draw a little, can I draw on your glove?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's sort of the basic structure there. Wrap the fingers, and then we're gonna draw a little line here that matches up with the line right here. And this is totally legal for all Tuesday games and future competitions. All right, and then I'm gonna have you trace on top. Go ahead and get that crevice in there, just kind of the base. Yeah. You want these hands to feel welded together so they work on a kind of two-part. Keep going or under, yeah, here, kind of get that little crack there. The theory is we kind of get this hand locked together where it can only be working really in two directions.
Yeah.
If you've got a sort of an omnidirectional
Yeah.
pivot, the club face is going to do too much crazy shit.
Yeah.
So
that's an issue in my world.
so let's simplify the way your hands can move, and then that'll simplify the kind of shots that we can hit. So see if that feels totally bizarre. It's probably going to feel pretty bad for a while. Let's get this club face square as we establish that hand. And then there's a V that's created between the thumb and the forefinger. You want that V to be back here at that trail shoulder. So you will rotate this whole apparatus like that slightly. You want to see two knuckles on this hand.
Okay, yeah.
So with the club face square, twist your hand in such a way where you can bring it over. So light, 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 light. And then generally there's a saying you kind of want to feel like you got like a baby bird in your hands.
Right.
You don't want to crush it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's about right. Let's get a little stronger, right about there. And then we're going to bring it up. Make sure it's running through that channel to where it's mounted under this fatty pad here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then always start with a square face. So that is your hand is too under there.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get to the fatty pad.
Yes, you have to be able to get to this fatty pad here, future Beau. Look at this here. You see that? Okay, it's mounted under there. Something to practice on the couch. After a while, it's like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense given the anatomy of the hand, but it takes a little bit. At least you've got the guidelines. It can become more normal. This all has to come over. There you go. So this V points up here. And then your other hand, let's introduce the other hand. There's a saying, here's the hot dog. Let's hide the hot dog.
So that pinky goes there?
Yeah, you've got options on how that right hand interacts. I go interlock.
Yeah.
You can go 10 finger. You can go overlap.
Interlock feels good.
Okay, interlock always feels powerful to me. It
Yeah.
feels like I've got kind of nice control over it. And try your best to create width in this hand by barely grasping it in these fingers here, the very last little knuckle joint there. That gives you all this space here to hide the hot dog. Because if you're under here and I can see that thumb, that club is going to do too much stuff here. So use the kind of feel like this is happening with your hand, so that club rests barely in that last knuckle joint, and then you have miles to cover that thumb, and that way we can get on these green guidelines. So barely, there you go. Oh, now we're talking.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make more sense how that creates more room?
Yeah.
So that thumb kind of, there we go. That's a golf grip. All right, and it's gonna feel super weird, but it's gonna kind of simplify things. Let's just try to hit some small shots. Keep your hands on there because it's gonna be hard to recreate that.
Yeah.
It's hard to recreate that. Okay. Over time, it should start to make sense why it's on there, sort of the angles that it produces. Okay.
Baby bird.
Baby bird, you know, 6 out of 10 grip pressure. It's not like you're barely holding it, but definitely not squeezing it to death. Both V's are pointed at this shoulder, so right now this V is kind of over here. So you would want to rotate this hand under that way slightly, and we're barely using that last little knuckle joint in order to give us space to hide that thumb. Much better. Nice, dude.
Okay.
That's a quality golf shot. So so rest in the fact that that is great.
Yeah.
For where you're at. So breaking 100, that was a sweet. What club is that? 7 iron?
It's 7.
Okay, cool. So you've got some cool like inherent athleticism going on. You were just kind of starting out.
It was kind of blew my mind how light my right hand was on the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Okay.
Little 2-yard draw.
The grip. Did it help my backswing at all?
Well, it's a chain of events, right? So every little piece of the swing influences the next. Those are sweet. So the art to teaching golf is to kind of do it incrementally, not to give the student too much at once, but you're kind of ticking this off pretty quick. Does that feel good?
Fucking great.
Nice.
Fucking great.
It's super simple. The golf swing is made way too complicated. People have to
Yeah.
kind of justify their jobs. There's a great old book from the 20s that has these illustrations of little kids swinging the club. It's just called Swing the Club. He took a handkerchief and then tied they call it a jackknife, but it's basically like a Leatherman tool, just a little counterbalance. And he's got these photos of these kids swinging it on the handkerchief, and just the counterbalance weight of it and sort of natural athleticism swings the club. But you got to start out with a good grip. You had kind of a funky grip that was affecting the way you swung the club.
Yeah,
Both of those
feels
V's.
so much lighter.
Good. It should feel effortless.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you got good natural rhythm too. Brandon was that way too. He's like very patient with his rhythm.
It's not always been like that. I'm telling myself, just easy.
Yeah, just focus on the grip, one thing at a time. Super. Highly playable.
Okay.
Let's try driver.
I'm excited about my next round.
Good.
Same grip.
Same grip.
On the...
Yes, sir. The only change in the setup for the driver, sort of theory-wise, is so for irons you're playing everything barely forward of center. Reason being you're trying to catch this thing on the downswing. So if we got the pendulum of the metronome, it's coming down, it's catching the ball, and then it's still going down. That's why you get a divot. With the driver, you want the metronome to be slightly coming back up. So we tee it up and we play it super far forward. Is the driver generally like a liability for you or an asset?
Just as of late, it has been. When I first started swinging right-handed, it was my best thing, and then I totally lost my right.
Same swing. Another little small nuance is you want to have a little bit more tilt this way. So irons we kind of come straight down our midline. Driver, just give it a little tilt this way. So it helps you hit up on that thing.
Okay, same thing.
Whoa, watch out for that. Yes, build the structure. Yeah, that can come this way a little bit more. So
this way?
So rotate everything that way. Get that going over there. That's called stronger. You had a little bit too weak of a grip. So square that face and then establish your grip. Run it through that channel. And then your tendency is still to be a little bit too under this way, Beau, so bring it like this. Relax, relax, there we go. Perfect. You can see like 2 knuckles on that hand.
2 knuckles.
Barely grasping it, and that last digit, that gives us room to hide the hot dog. Smooth swing. Okay.
Did not feel smooth.
So the longer the club gets, the harder it's going to be for you to do what you're doing with this kind of smaller guy swing.
With the grip.
So I imagine what we'll probably have to do is start working towards a bigger backswing with the driver, but maybe not. I don't want to throw you completely off. Kind of want to ease you into this new deal.
That's what I'm kind of here for. I want to get it work. I want it to look kind of normal.
All right, so one of the principles I'd like you to consider as sort of the alignment of your body. You have a little bit, it's just sort of not relaxed. So you look at all the tour guys, they start here, they just call it like they're chilling. They fall into the balls of their feet. Their butt comes out just a little. We used to teach golf where your butt was out like that and you would kind of twist on this, but that's not very fast. So if you start tall, balls of your feet, and then just fall straight down, let your arms hang, I think you'll have more success. So generally just kind of more.
Just feels better.
Yeah, let that arm hang from the socket. There's something so there's still a little bit of press. Okay. So relax and just let it hang right where it is.
It's also the back. Roll back.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do better than that. We're gonna figure this out.
Stevens Park tees out here.
Shout out Stevens Park.
Love that place.
Love the drive-through pony keg at the turn.
What's that?
I love the drive-through pony keg at the turn.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's only 6 steps from your cart to the brewskis. There you go. Little.
Is this the same? I'm still holding it pretty chill.
Yes. Yeah.
Grip always stays the same.
6 out of 10. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's move the camera over here. Give a little bit better idea of where our setup is going awry. Test. All right, we're still recording as far as I can tell. Super. Highly playable. Give me a little bit of that tilt, Beau, back this way. Oh, so sorry. Let me mirror you here. Go here.
That's a change. Here, I'm gonna move my tee over here. The fuzzy friend.
What's his name?
He came with the irons.
Cool. Can you let that left hand hang just a little bit more? It's starting with tension. You want all your arms to be just limp. That's set up. It's like they're hanging from the socket.
Right. Yeah.
And then let that, you can allow that, you've got a little bit of forward press. It's making it harder to get it airborne. So just let it hang right there. So this is almost a straight up and down shaft. Yeah. Tiny bit of tilt back behind it.
Up like that?
Just let him hang. Nice. Yeah, you got a lot of speed that we can unleash. That's good. Did you play other sports?
Basketball, baseball.
Okay, cool.
Took golf lessons when I was young, albeit left-handed. It all feels new now.
So right now we're biased on this left side, Beau. Let's go. We're leaning the shaft forward and we're kind of over here. Let's just get comfortable being right here and letting everything hang straight up and down. Bring that handle of the club backwards just a touch. There you go. Yeah, just let it hang right there. Limp, limp, limp. Turn, turn from there. Nice, dude.
Okay.
It's like I don't know car terms, but I always think about like an engine or whatever. Like if you start here, That
Right.
thing's got to detach from like the drivetrain or whatever.
Yeah.
If you just let
I've
it,
been doing that, like, I know somebody like told me to put it in the front of my stand, and that was the only way I could figure out how to get it
yes.
up there, you know?
Okay, lean that shaft back, and then just get comfortable being real neutral. Arms hanging, turn is the thought. Love it. And if you've got a neutral grip, you're gonna see a lot less curvature of the golf ball because that club face isn't gonna be able to get offline as much. These hands are gonna work together in unison.
Grip already feels better.
Good. It looks very nice. Let's try a couple of things just for shits and giggles here. So there was a golfer that broke his wrist before the Masters, Ryan Moore, and he came out with this preset drill that is actually pretty cool for setting your structure at the top. So again, we want that shaft straight up and down. We have a tendency to be kind of over there, which gets us
Just
off of
relax
things.
in the
So
middle.
just, yeah, relax, let the arms hang, and then establish your grip. A lot of times if you're trying to establish your grip there, then you kind of start out with failure. So let them hang, grasp the club. That way it's just sort of limp and straight up and down. But let's try this. This isn't the way you swing, but it might help you get to that higher point instead of down back in here. So we're gonna pre-hinge, turn, and then extend your arms. Let's just try that a couple of times. We're not gonna hit the ball while we do that, but it'll help us feel a bigger structure.
Okay, so
Get that grip, that left-hand grip, get it stronger, so rotate it clockwise a little bit. You wanna be able to see a couple knuckles right there. Limp, 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 no stiffness in the arm. So pre-hinge, straight up.
show me that again.
Okay, so we're here, and then turn, give me a big turn so your back is to the target, and then extend your arms outward. And, okay, so one more time.
Probably not also having because my back.
Okay,
right
if it hurts, then we're not gonna do it. Okay. All right, see what?
It doesn't actually hurt. It's just like I'm so tight in my back.
Yeah. So we're bringing the whole arm structure up here with that. Bring the wrists only, then turn, and then extend the arms out. Wrist, hinge, turn, extend. There you go. That's what the kind of, let's get that on video down the line here. So this is sort of a long-term goal. As tall as you are, you should be absolutely destroying the ball with relative ease. So that's kind of the depth of the swing that we're looking for long-term. Give you something to practice.
Yeah.
So see what that inspires in terms of a little bit bigger backswing without pain. We don't want you to, it should continue to feel effortless, but it's just gonna be like we're stretching that rubber band a little bit more, so you should have more snap.
Let me loose, Lord.
I mean, that is so playable. That's like, that should bring you a lot of comfort. Having that is awesome. Give me a tilt back behind the ball if you can.
I want to like lean it.
Yeah. So you keep the weight pretty 50-50 in your feet at startup, but you just give it that tiny tilt. Turn, turn.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's plenty. It's just a couple degrees. And that might be a little too much for now. It changes the way you sequence, but it should be able to let you hit it higher with less spin. Ball position looks good. You're setting up with your ball position perfectly, kind of right in here. Tiny tilt, V's at the trail shoulder, turn, turn. Okay. Let's see if we can clean up your setup. One last thing, and then we'll be done with the full swing. We'll go look at short game. So if you imagine laser pointers coming out of your hips, knees, toes, in theory you want those all to be kind of parallel, and the way that you're gripping this club and setting up, you're setting yourself up for that slice because your shoulders are this way relative to the rest of your body. So if we start really tall and neutral, and then we just sort of swan dive straight down our midline into our posture, that's sort of the feel. So let the club fall and then establish the grip. So just comes from straight up, comes straight down your midline. That way, this are all in alignment. That's gonna eliminate curvature. You can set yourself up in different ways like that to promote a cut or a draw, but let's start out with a neutral, fairly straight shot. That grip looks awesome. Highly acceptable.
Acceptable.
Golf's a game of acceptable shots strung together.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
If you can just hit it where you can find it, that is a big advantage. So think about symmetry. Try to get really swan divey into your, right down your spine here. It's just straight up and down. That looks super nice. Turn, turn. Yes, dude.
Give me that. Give me that on hole number 1.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go figure out what we would do after that drive on the short game area. Clean that up a little bit. Good work.
Yes.
Let's go, Beau.